Just increasing my skills, overall morale, making sure I stay focused, don't let the media, the attention, too much outside sources get to me. The closer I keep my niche, to that, and the harder I work, it shows inside the octagon. My interviews are getting better, my Spanish is getting better, everything else is getting better, so that's how I can say that inside the cage is going to happen the same way.
This is the deepest division I think most people would say in the sport. You're going on finishing guys, which is not easy to do at 155. Let's be honest. It's a tough division to get in the top 10, much less be able to go out and finish guys the way you are. Do you feel like that's been the biggest statement, the way you've been dominating and putting guys away?
I was finishing guys at 170 for a long time. And then when they decided for me to go to 155, be a little more closer towards my college weight, I guess you'd say, it was a little bit easier for me. Had to hone in, get my nutrition right, get the mental right, the conditioning as well. But I figure at 155 there is a tough division. This is the shark weight division. There's no easy fights here. I make it look easy outside there because of the practice room. I'm putting in the work inside there day in and day out. I don't really post too much out there on Instagram. You guys always see me having fun. But if I posted up all the hard work and all the BS that I'm going through, you guys would be like, holy crap. This dude's up at night going for a crazy amount of runs to cut that weight so I can go and have a couple little treats later on. And that's the kind of sacrifice I make. So that way I go inside that octagon and I know I can have my hand raised at the end of that.
The way you have been finishing guys, you're fighting a guy who hasn't been finished in a long time. I know you've looked at the numbers, you've seen it on paper, it's been like 11 years or something like that. Does that factor into how you prepare for a guy like that?
You can try to prepare for any kind of person that's out there, but it's mixed martial arts. These guys that are carrying in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts, they can't carry that belt with them inside there. Once they get smacked in the face, that whole game changes. For me, I carry a wrestling pedigree, boxing, and I'm learning Muay Thai. I'm making sure that my skill levels are getting better each and every single day. You can ask my trainers, they're left and right. They're like, if I'm not working with them, I don't have anybody telling me to go and get my ass inside that gym. I'm already working hard. And these guys that are inside there getting injured, they're preparing wrong. They're doing the wrong things. Dana says, don't do so much more sparring, do a little bit more timing things. Lawler's got it right. You saw in his last fight, he did really good. That's the kind of pathway that I'm on. These guys are asking, hey, where are you getting your sparring from? And I'm like, what sparring?
Can you use that as a motivating factor, though, in preparing, like, hey, it'd be awesome to finish this guy that hasn't been finished in a long time? Or does that, like I said, does that just go all out the window?
I consider myself a tech fall wrestler. You know what that is?
Sure.
Technical fall. It's when you go out there and you outpoint your opponent, and then you go for the finish, the win, the pin. I've always been that guy that always liked to go for the pin right away. It was back in the day until one of my coaches had to tell me to get that mat time. Well, I already got my mat time. I got inside the house, got it with a couple fights, like one towards Eve Edwards. I don't have to spend any more time out there. I got perfect 6 to 7, 8 weeks to train for these fights. That's all I need. So when I go out there, I want to finish them in the first round so I don't leave my family hanging. So I know I can get back to them and have a beer.
You've been steadily climbing up the ranks, slowly but surely. You've been asking for big fights. I know that's what you wanted. Is Josh Thompson the kind of opponent you wanted, or were you hoping for something different?
No, Josh Thompson is the opponent I wanted. He's number 9, I'm number 11. Last time I heard I was number 11. Changes all the time. People get hurt all the time. This opponent, this is a great opponent. He's very, a lot of fights, has a vet. He's got a good chin, very crafty. I'm excited for this fight. You guys should be excited too, because I know he's been training hard. I know on his Twitter he likes to joke around a little bit and say, I better get my ass inside the gym. But I already know he's been training, because it's not a wise thing for not to train for me.
Kukui, can you answer this one in Spanish, please?
I'll try.
La frontera está aquí 15 minutos. The border is just 15 minutes away from here. Are you going to feel more support for your block, for your people?
Sí, me voy a sentir muy apoyado para la gente, porque yo soy mexicano. Es importante para yo, para hablar español y para sentir la sangre de mexicanos también. Porque yo soy un guerrero, yo tengo la sangre de un guerrero también. Y los mexicanos necesitan un guerrero que tiene la sangre de un guerrero, de los latinos también. Y es importante para yo, para pelear con todo mi corazón. Porque yo soy mexicano-americano. They're both. I'm both Mexican and American. It's better for me to have support from both America and from Mexico because I have the Mexican heritage.
Yeah. Any feelings about Melendez? He's half Mexican as well, and he's going through a rough time right now.
You know, I give him all that he has to go for. You know, people make mistakes, and Melendez is that guy that he did make that mistake, and he's gonna pay for it. You know, a lot of people do, and when it's his time, he'll come back and he's gonna kick some ass. You know, I know we're training out of the same kind of area, California, and I don't have any animosity towards these guys. If anything, my Latino brothers, I'm very supportive for that.
Awesome.
And you're a really big dude. Like, most 155ers are roughly my size, and you're twice my size. Can you walk us through the week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what you start doing to cut, and how it takes a toll on you mentally, physically, up until you get to eat and drink again?
I'm a big 55er.
Yeah.
That's cool. I consider myself a smaller guy. These guys walk around a little bit shorter and stockier. I just know how to carry my weight around. I'm not really big on lifting weights. I like to do a lot of body weight composition. And I monitor my weight really good because I've been wrestling my whole entire life. I like to stay around close to fight weight. My last fight versus T-Bow, I heard he liked to float around 25 pounds afterwards, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll do the same thing. It wasn't a good idea. The weight cut was pretty hard, so I don't like that. And for me, as being a bigger guy, I always maintain the same kind of workouts. When I get done with my kick-ass session, I go out there and I do a 12x12 workout. It's a third of my body weight, and I carry that out, and I boom, 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 no matter how tired I am, and then I go and I do my sprints afterwards. So it's just me eating right, sleeping right, and then making sure I hit my extra credit.
And most people, they give up the wrestling once they get out of high school, once they get out of college, and I'm gonna learn jiu-jitsu and boxing, and it kind of goes away. Do you still train wrestling just as hard as you did when you were wrestling?
No, to be honest with you. I don't. And I'll hit it more after, for me, I like my striking. It's like back in the day when I would go in my fights. I would always, well, how come you don't use your wrestling? Well, I took pride in not being able to get taken down. And then when I said I had 100% takedown defense from Danny Castillo, what happened? I really didn't work on my wrestling. I was more about, no, he's not going to take me down, I'm just going to worry about my striking. But this is mixed martial arts. If you focus on one type of art, you're going to get taken out in a different way. For me, my wrestling, I like to use it because it keeps me clear-headed and focused. You'll see me during fight week. I hope you guys get an opportunity to watch me one of these times when I'm doing my weight cut. I invite you guys to come check it out. And if it's a big weight cut, I'll take about 2 to 3 hour session, and I compact literally every single move, every single movement that I've ever had, and I do it 1,000,000 miles an hour slow. And I hit it just like I'm doing kind of like Tai Chi, shadow boxing. And it's actually pretty cool because it helps me sweat, and it helps me bring me back to where I started at my roots.
And wrestling's known for the grinding, pushing, hard, two rhinos colliding. Are you finding other fighters aren't doing that? Since they didn't wrestle, they didn't do this, they're kind of not weaker, but they don't have that same push mentality that usually you can break people with?
It is a different kind of mentality. I take pride in that. At Grand Valley State University and then all the other places where I've ever wrestled, it was always, I even when I teach my students, I'm always like, you got to put the pressure on. When you're doing your drills, you take somebody down, you got to have your hands on them, make them work. Put their hands on them, boom, put them, make them work. You see them sweat, you see them want to give up, you put that pressure again. And it's a big mental thing. If you're not getting pushed that way or you're not pushing it, when you get inside that octagon, you're going to see the guys just sit there and bounce and not going to be ready for it. For me, I like to go in there and finish my fights. So that means if I train that way, I'm going to do that same thing inside the octagon.
And pressure is this invisible thing that anyone who hasn't grappled doesn't understand when someone's on the side of your ribs. Do you feel people when you get on side control or you get in mouth that they're not used to that pressure and you just hear them?
Well, yeah, I monitor them. You can tell their gait. You know, if you pay attention enough, you do. That's the thing. When you mix up jiu-jitsu and you mix up wrestling, you know, the quote I like to hear and teach my students too is, you wrestle a jiu-jitsu dude and you jiu-jitsu a wrestler. You know, you don't want to go jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu. You can clash. But when you make a jiu-jitsu dude work, you can definitely tell that they don't want to be in there with a wrestler. It's not necessarily about cranks and moves. It's about positioning. Position before submission. I'll use my submissions to get me in a better position so that way I can grind on them a little bit more and make them want to quit. Because then you can see it in their eyes that they want to stop. They're like, oh man, I hope he doesn't snap me down again. Boom, put his hands on the mat, choke him out.
And we watch fights, and me as an amateur, spectator, you can see like he just got hit, or he doesn't like that pressure, he wants out. You can see that immediately in the fight. Are you constantly looking for it and looking like I'm breaking him, I'm pulling ahead? Do you see it? Because we got it in high definition with Joe Rogan screaming, so it's easier for us.
Myself, I like to pick them apart. I like to stay confident and stay loose. The more I'm having fun in there, the better it's going to be. they don't want to get hit with my jab. Boom, they get hit with my jab, and then what's next? Oh, shoot, I don't want to get hit with anything else. This dude just hits hard. Oh, man, this guy's just a rough guy on the ground as far as wrestling. Oh, his jiu-jitsu is just too slick. Oh, my gosh, where do I go? Let me just tap out before anybody hits me anymore. That's what I want to do. I want to go in there and make them quit. And it's the kind of mentality that I have and I bring inside there when I'm training. And it's the kind, nobody wants to spar with me. It sounds funny. It's Sean Strickland, he asked me the other day, who you spar with? I'm like, I asked them to spar. They didn't want to spar. But, hey, I tell you what, it's going to help. It's going to work for me.
Josh Thompson's the next guy on the list, but with the confidence and the training you're putting in right now, do you feel like this is the time where you could go with anybody from Rafael Dos Anjos to Cowboy Cerrone? I mean, I know this fight gets you into that conversation, so is that kind of the idea that those are the fights you feel like you are ready for?
The champ's seen me fight. He's seen me spar at Reign, and he's seen me move. He doesn't want to fight me right now. And right now, he's cool. He deserved his title. He did kick Anthony Pettis' butt. And right now, my opponent is Josh Thompson. And that's who I'm prepared for. And Thompson's, he's scared. I'm a little nervous myself, which is good because you don't want to go in there overconfident. You can, it's fine. But when I go in there with the little butterflies in my stomach, I turn that energy into the good energy, that good focused energy. And you used to be able to take me in 1 second, get hit, and then you would see a better Tony go out there and fight. No longer anymore. I don't have anybody smacking me in the face like Guida and these guys when they used to back in the day. I don't need that. When I'm out there, my coach will tell me, smile, Tony. And the more loose you are, the better you are. That jab just, boom, hits them in the face harder and just makes them want to quit that much better.